here we go again, family. They're saying that this virus will have a worse mortality rate than COVID-19. Those that been around, we've been saying that another one would come and that COVID was the test run for the real thing, where they will try to take out as many people as they can. Lockdowns will come back, which will all be tied in with the digital IDB system, all collectively. Cashless society, one world government, NWO. Is this it? It potentially could be, right? We know fresh into the new year, they always do something like this. You know, they always start us off with a bang. We've been hearing about a couple that could be the one that sticks. Listen, I'm going to cover it just in case it is. Give y'all the updates. Because, you know, they've been working on one that would be more effective. We heard about the super flu. It's looking like that one won't stick, and it could potentially be this one, or it could be the super flu. We really don't know, but we know pestilence will increase, and it is increasing in these last days.
This is a highly contagious virus between humans, and it's often deadly. The 2 cases of Nipah virus were detected in India in the state of West Bengal, but there are concerns the outbreak could spread. The virus has a fatality rate of 40 to 75%, according to the World Health Organization. So it's deadlier than the COVID virus, and there's no vaccine for Nipah. So authorities in India are taking no chances. At the same time, several airports across Asia, in Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, they're taking steps to screen passengers for any symptoms. Nipah is a zoonotic virus that's transmitted from animals, usually fruit bats. It doesn't spread easily.
It's always transferred from animals. You see a similarity, a commonality? Yeah, this might be the one that sticks, family. It started in India this time instead of China. They already know the fatality rate, apparently. Hey, man, if you read the SPARS pandemic or pandemic roadmap, you knew this would start. They wrote out the manuscript, I could call it, from 2025 through 2028. We're past 2025, right? There was a silent behind the scenes act of them creating the next one. And in 2026, we'll start to hear about it. They might tell us there's nothing to worry about. Then all of a sudden, the rates of people contracting it start to increase. And then full lockdowns come. They start trying to force the vax. But this time, they will know who got it and who didn't when the digital ID is full force, full-fledged. Vaccine passports. I feel like that all is under the same umbrella, and I know it's all under the same umbrella. It'll all be tied in, and those that didn't get it will be scrutinized once again. America had it sweet, but in other countries, they didn't. America gonna feel it this time.
Easily to humans, and it can also come from contaminated food. But when it does, it initially hits like the flu, then worsens, and experts say pneumonia and other respiratory symptoms can develop. But the most serious complication is encephalitis, or inflammation of the brain. The WHO says the fatality rate has a lot to do with the country's capacity to test, trace, and treat those infected. In India, authorities have quarantined nearly 200 people who may have come into contact with the 2 infected. It's the first time in nearly 20 years that India has had cases, but they believe the outbreak is now contained. Still, it's a situation that U.S. health officials are monitoring very closely. The CDC says they're ready to assist if needed.
Right, so they're doing predictive programming, telling you that they think it's contained, but it has the potential to spread. They're telling you they're going to make sure it spreads. One thing that I noticed is going to attack the brain. Who has something that deals with the brain? I'm going to give y'all a second to think about it. Who does brain implants? Elon Musk. He got Neuralink. They want to attack the brain so that they can chip the brain.
A deadly virus with no cure has just been detected in one of India's biggest cities. Indian health officials are scrambling after 5 confirmed cases of the Nipah virus surfaced in West Bengal, just miles from Kolkata, a city of over 14 million people.
It is 2026 and there's a virus with a 75% fatality rate that most people don't know about. Let me tell you what the Nipah virus is. First, this isn't new. The Nipah was first found in Malaysia in 1999 during an outbreak amongst pig farmers. Now, since then, there have been reported outbreaks in South and Southeast Asia, including Bangladesh, India, and Singapore. Still, still, it rarely makes international news. Second, it's deadly and there's no cure. The fatality rate is between 40 and 75%, making it one of the most dangerous viruses known. Right now, there is no vaccine or specific treatment, just supportive care. Third, it spreads in several ways. Fruit bats carry it naturally. People can get infected from contaminated food from the bats, contact with sick animals, or from other people, through contact with their bodily fluids. Healthcare workers are especially at risk. Number 4, symptoms can get worse fast. It starts like the flu, with a fever, headache, and vomiting, non-specific symptoms, but it can quickly lead to brain swelling, seizures, and a coma. And survivors may have long-term neurological problems. Note, this is not to scare you, but to inform you, so please stay informed and stay safe.
I see why they would run with this one, so it's not brand new. This has been around. I see why they would run with this one. Y'all know how I think. I'm pretty sure on this channel we hip on who controls and runs the world currently, who has that limited window of time to rule over the whole planet until our king come back and destroy him.
Have you ever heard of the Nipah virus? If not, you're going to be seeing it in headlines, so we should talk about it. So this virus is a rare but serious zoonotic virus carried by animals like fruit bats and pigs, and it can spread to people through direct contact with contaminated foods or close contact with infected people, causing symptoms that usually would start like any other virus: fever, headache, vomiting, and respiratory symptoms, but unfortunately can progress to severe brain inflammation and even death, and has a very high fatality rate between 40 to 75%, and there's no approved vaccine or specific treatment. Currently, there have been recent cases in India that have prompted enhanced screening throughout parts of Asia, but authorities say that this outbreak is limited and currently under control, and there are...
Now look, the fact it can be contracted through what you eat through food, this is why we have to grow our own food for one. This is why we have dietary laws, clean and unclean foods. You see them keep talking about pigs. We know the pig is the most contaminated, dirty, nasty, trifling animal, right? This is why we got to do things on our own. That way we know what's being done to our food. It's easy for them to put this into the food. They could inject it in there or however they want to put it in there. They could put it in there so that everybody gets it. We already know our food supply is at attack. It's been at attack. They've been attacking our food supply since really when Monsanto destroyed the real seed bank. Ever since then. The fruit not real, the food not real, the vegetables not real. Now they can do something like this, put it in the food and attack a whole population of people.
No confirmed cases in the United States. So while Americans do not need to panic, it is very important to understand what Nipah is and how it spreads, and that the public health systems like the CDC and the WHO will monitor global outbreaks closely to keep the risk here, hopefully extremely, extremely low. I know and I understand that people experience a lot of fear and anxiety when they see headlines like this out of concern for another pandemic. Right now, there's very low concern to think that this virus would result in something similar that we experienced with COVID. So I do not want people to panic, just be informed about what the Nipah virus is.
If you believe that, you're a fool. They said the same thing about COVID. It's only going to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve. People still catching COVID right now, 5+ years later. They always want to, like I say, do predictive programming. You got to be aware of their wordplay. They want us to know about this. That's why they're putting it out. But they want to say it's under control. Don't worry. Watch cases start to rise. We're going to see more news articles about it. We're going to see more cases rise. We're going to see it spread from this country to that country and this state to that state. And they're still going to say, don't worry. Then, now we're going to lock down. It's like these people got the same blueprint. If you know, you know. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Y'all know what I'm insinuating.
Almost half of the people who got this virus did not survive. I'm Dr. Sam and this is Medical Adulting. The story starts in 1998, Malaysia. It was a peaceful village, but the peace was soon disrupted by a mysterious illness. It started with a fever and a cough, and then rapidly progressed to headaches, disorientation, seizures, and even coma. It started with a few people, but soon affected more than 200 people. Doctors could not figure out what was going on. They thought it was Japanese encephalitis, a serious virus spread by mosquitoes. But usual measures like vaccination against this virus or controlling the mosquito population wasn't working. The cases kept increasing, so did the mortality rate. Almost 40% who got it did not survive. Nobody knew what to do, except this one person, Dr. Chua Kao-bing. He discovered the mysterious connection for all the cases. You see, they all worked in the same industry. They were from the pig farmers community. But nobody believed him. So he took matters into his own hands. He smuggled the virus to the US CDC, and using the electron microscope, he was able to identify the virus. It was a new virus that they called Nipah virus, after the village that the source of the human case came from. He discovered that infected pigs were spreading the virus to humans. His findings convinced the government to cull more than 1 million pigs. And because of this, it prevented the virus from spreading, ending the outbreak. This episode changed a lot of how farming is now done. Fruit plantations cannot be beside pig farms because bats with the virus eat fruits. The Nipah virus is found on the saliva coating the fruit, which then spreads to the pig that eats the leftover fruit. And that was how the outbreak started. Thankfully, it isn't as easy to get the virus. Awareness is key. It is all about picking up the signs early and taking action without batting an eyelid.
I'm telling y'all better be careful of eating. I ain't gonna say careful. You shouldn't even be touching no pig. You shouldn't touch it. That's scripture. The scriptures tell you you shouldn't even touch the pig. That's how dirty it is. Let alone eat it. Let me know what y'all think about this family. They basically saying the same thing, so I don't want to put more clips. I just want to get this video out there. This could possibly pop off and be a worldwide pandemic. I've been anticipating another one, so every single one that does come out, every outbreak, I'm watching it closely to see which one will be it. Right? We know this year there will be another outbreak. We do know the banks are going to collapse very soon. We do know there will be blackouts. We do know a new monetary system will come. We do know there will be a new one world government. We do know all of these things. So we got to be prepared, family. Of course, we don't got nothing to worry about. We just got to stay prayed up, stay in our word, stay connected to the Most High, which is our source, our creator, and stay repentant, stay focused. Hashatan is at attack more than ever. But these end times are some of the greatest times. If we play it right, we will get to see New Jerusalem come.